Another time on Techbridge on Lagos Television. Thanks for joining us. This is the only show that we tell you connects you to the future. We talk about technology here. We talk about the possibilities you can have around technology. And we also talk about how to ensure that you make technology work for you and not against you. There are so many options you can have around technology, but it is all up to you to take advantage of the positive sides of technology. And that is the exact thing we do on this show. I'm Sheyifunmi Olatide, and I welcome you to Techbridge today. So today, just like I've told you, we talk about technology, and we're talking something that is more educative and something more inspiring. We're talking something that exposes you to another possibility of technology. We're talking about ethical hacking today. Most people, when you hear the word hack, it is always on the negative connotation. Yes, probably because of the experiences most people have had about it. But today we're going to show you the positive side of hacking, and that is ethical hacking. So we're going to be talking about someone that is also important around this field, talking about someone that has delved into this world, a professional, so to say, and you have a lot to show for it at the end of the show. So I'll go for this quick break. Please stay with us. It is still Techbridge on Lagos Television. All right, thanks for staying with us on Lagos Television. This is Techbridge once again, and before that quick break, I told you we'll be talking about something that exposes you, something that gives you more information about the positive sides of technology, talking about hacking, and we're focusing on ethical hacking today. I've got someone in the house that is going to do justice to that, and she's an information technology consultant with over 10 years experience helping businesses and organizations across the country, and she's one of the very few women in Africa privileged to be an EC Council certified ethical hacker, security analyst, and licensed penetration tester. She's going to tell us what that means eventually. And she's done a whole lot more sensitizing people about the dangers of giving out their information to hackers or probably to fraudsters. So welcome with me, Confidence Staveley.
Thank you so much.
Nice to have you on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So hope you're not going to hack me today.
If you give me the permission to, I will.
So I will never do that. So let's talk about it. Just like you said, I mentioned the word hack, and what comes to mind is on the negative side.
Exactly.
So we need you to probably shed more light on this ethical hacking. What makes it positive? What does it really mean, really?
Okay, so it's just something I like to say. If you want to stop a hacker, you need to think like one. Yes. So that is where this concept of ethical hacking comes from. You know, ethical hacking is literally a professional way of hacking. So you hack, but in a professional manner and in line with your client's directions. And when you gain access to the systems you're not supposed to gain access to, for example, because that's what hacking is, or you gain access to information that you're not supposed to gain access to, what you do is come back to the client and present a report that's like what we call a scorecard that I highlight the client's risk and vulnerabilities. So vulnerabilities are literally loopholes.
Okay.
So you highlight them and then also prefer best ways to fix those vulnerabilities. So it's not enough for an ethical hacker to find a loophole. Yeah, it's also not enough for an ethical hacker to say, hey, I can gain access to your system and leverage that to gain access and follow the client's path. Because again, you remember when he said, asked if I could hack you, and I said I needed your permission.
Yes,
another very key thing around ethical hacking is getting the permission and buy-in of the clients. And for example, some clients want to direct you to say, okay, not just everywhere on my system. I want the client-facing part of my system, or I want the back end to be tested. So you have to follow only and cordon off and try to attack only the area the client has specified, and then do that professionally, and also present a report that shows how to fix it. It's easier to find a problem than to fix. You know what they say about the players on the football and the spectators.
Of course.
Yeah, you score the goal now. Score the goal now. Why did you kick this way? It's easier to find the fault than to actually fix them. So when you find the fault, you say, okay, this is the best way to fix it. And one of the key things that hackers do is answer the question, especially from the attacker's point of view. What are the vulnerabilities in the system that I'm looking at the moment? What can a hacker have access to? What can what system, what information would a hacker want to access at that point? And what can the hacker see if they try to use the vulnerabilities, that's the loopholes, to see those or to get those information or that information, or to get access to that system? Now, what would they do with the information they get? So let's give this very typical example. Say a bank. What would a hacker want to, a bad guy? Let's use bad guy. So when we get to more conversations, we can distinguish them. Yeah, but the bad guy, what would the bad guy want to have access to? Now, when he has access to that, what would he do with that information? And for a bank, for example, if the bad guy has access to customers' data, they could pose as the bank. They could take people's monies.
Yes,
they could take the bank's money.
The money factor.
Exactly, the money factor. But you know, it's also very important because now credentials or your personal information is money.
That's
because on the dark web, you know, hackers, as the other part of the web, which a lot of people, because I access your sites, which people don't necessarily have access to. Your information is sold for money. So your information is money, and your information is also a route that hacking can happen from.
Okay, before you go further, because I don't want to get so scared.
Yeah.
You're going dark web, and I'm like, okay. So apart from the authorization that an ethical hacker gets from the client, what makes the major difference between an ethical hacker and the bad guy hacker?
Very simple, intent.
Okay.
So what do I want to do with what I'm doing, what I have access to? So the fact that I have access to something with or without your permission, because there's another subnet or subset of ethical hackers that are called bug bounty hunters. Okay. So what they do is find problems in systems and report those problems, but get paid for reporting the problems.
Okay, without consulting
them.
Okay.
So
it's like they're proactive about it.
They're proactive about it.
Okay.
Yes. So what some companies do is they set up a program that says, okay, if you find so kind of the issue, we will reward you so amount of money, because we want to make sure that we're always secure. So that's a subset. So permission is also still very subjective. But what's very key that distinguishes an ethical hacker from all other types of hackers is just intent. So if I have access to this information, which I'm not supposed to have access to, if all of a sudden I wake up and I see that I can book my Arik tickets without paying #1, what do I do with that information? Do I make sure that all my family and friends fly all over Nigeria without paying money? Or do I, if I, for example, I wake up and see that I can access all information of all banks, customer information of all banks, what do I do with that? Do I steal that information without anybody noticing and then take it and sell it? Do I, so it's intent. Intent is the key line that draws that changes everything. So what do I do with what access I get? What do I do with the break-in I do? What do I do with the penetration I do? What do I do with the access I get? Literally, that's what it is.
A major difference there. So talking about penetration, you are one of the very few penetration testers, certified one. So who is a penetration tester?
Okay, it's very simple. A penetration tester is someone who has the information and the knowledge required to break into networks, computer networks. Now, there are many ways you can break into a computer network, and maybe I'm sure you most likely would want to know about that later.
Of course.
Yeah, but what they do is they now sit back and give you a thorough risk assessment report, and also ways to fix that in more detailed ways than the ethical hacker would. So I would say penetration testers are like the senior brother of ethical hackers. Yeah, because then you've gotten a lot more. You have a wider range of understanding of, say, networks and how networks work, how systems work, how web applications work, how mobile applications work, and then you're very vested in how to exploit loopholes I don't want to use the word vulnerability here. I'm
Okay.
trying to avoid jargon. So, but how
So
to exploit,
loopholes.
how to exploit vulnerabilities in systems and get in. And then also how to fix those vulnerabilities. It's very key. Without preferring a fix, you're as good as, almost as bad as the bad guy, because you've only said to the client, this is the problem.
You've not been
You've
able
not
to
preferred a
offer
solution. So you need to offer a solution to fix, and the best possible solution to fix it.
Okay. All right. So talking about all of this now, I'm beginning to think that probably individuals don't need the service of an ethical worker. Am I wrong?
Well, high-profile individuals do.
Okay.
However,
In what way?
Okay, so high-profile individuals are very, very exposed. So they're generally, let's be very straightforward.
Okay.
Most hacks in this part of the world are financially motivated. So that means that if you have a lot of money, and you obviously do, there are a lot more people that want to, that you're a lot more in people's faces. And being in a lot more in people's faces means that you're a lot more easier to target.
Okay.
And people want to target you because they can get a lot out of you.
So they start digging things out.
Yeah. So again, you will need the services of an ethical hacker, because you need to be able to see things from a bad guy's point of view, how you can be exploited or how you can be hacked, and then get the information required to prevent that from happening. So let me use a very literal example.
All right.
Right.
I appreciate that.
If, for example, jailbreak, that's what comes to my mind. So you get, for example, in very advanced societies, you get a professional jailbreaker to test a jail. You understand? To see if inmates can break that jail. Now, if that person comes undercover and basically tries to break the securities, now that person will come off if that person is successful and say, this is how to do it. Okay, they passed this through this drug, or this is the food, and it was successful. I passed through the gutter and I was able to come out through this canal, and I was able to do this. So you now come out with that information and say, okay, good. So let's block that canal. Which canal in particular? The canal that is facing so.
Okay, so that is being more specific.
Be more specific. You need to be specific. Or maybe I came out through the wall. How did I come out through the wall? I asked someone to bring me a hammer. No, I asked someone to bring me, say, a needle. A needle was not anything, and then from that needle I kept hitting the wall, and then I created a hole over time, and then I covered the hole, and then at night I passed through there. You get what I mean? So you have to see things from an attacker's point of view to be able to be protected. However, I would say that every single person who has access to the internet needs to also be proactive about their cybersecurity.
Oh, talking about internet, that takes me to this one. I once heard that if you patronize all these cracked softwares, you are exposed, kind of. Is this part of what you're talking about?
Very well.
How does that work?
Okay, so first, you're not sure what you're downloading with the cracked software for starts. Okay. So there are different kinds of ways people can be hacked. One of the very, very interesting ways I want to call backdoors. Okay. Another one is, remote access. Okay. It's called RAT. Yeah. So
I'll give that to you.
So the thing is, with that, I can remotely access your device. So your phone, I can see everything you're doing.
Once I'm connected to the internet?
Once you're connected to the internet, I can see everything you're doing on your phone or on your computer. So with downloading all those cracked software, you don't know if you're downloading the software, but you're also downloading something else you're not aware of. So I always advise, especially businesses, please do not buy cracked softwares. Buy softwares from the vendors themselves. Because again, another key thing that does for you is you can have what they call patches. Now, no system is built straight up and always going to remain like that without any flaws. People that are in the other side of the world, like the dark web, they literally are sitting down looking for different ways, different things to exploit. So when they find those ways in the system to beat the system and flaw the system, the patches are supposed to make sure that they cover those areas. So when you buy software that is not licensed, you will not get all those patches, which really exposes you. So imagine if you're a lady, wear makeup and it rains, and the makeup, the rain touches you here. You understand? You need to patch that place up.
So that
so you don't look like something
masquerade.
Exactly. So that's literally what it is. And there are many other ways people can be exposed on the internet. And I say anyone who has access to the internet should take cybersecurity seriously. So there are many things you need to think about, but I need us all to just be thinking about how proactive we can be about making sure that we are safe. Because when you think to yourself, oh, I'm not a high profile person, how much is my account? Let me say, like we usually say, how much is my account? You know,
but eventually it's beyond that.
It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Your personal information is gold on the dark web, because when you have information, you can do anything with it.
All right. So talking about information now, I'm probably, let's go a bit professional, probably more in your field. I understand there are different hats with hackers.
Yes.
So let's have them.
Okay, so we have the white hats, we have the black hats, and we have the gray hats.
So who are the ones with the white hats?
I'm wearing the white hat proudly.
Okay, ethical hacker there.
Yeah, so ethical hackers. So we basically find the vulnerabilities with your permission most of the time, and then we advise on ways to fix it. And we're very professional about it, because you will not hear it on Twitter, for example, that something is wrong with your systems. Because if you start putting on Twitter, then you're telling everyone that this is what is wrong, and then anyone else can use that information. We do that professionally. And then the black hats, it's very simple. They're going to try to break into your system. So that's why the ethical hackers exist, because whether or not you hire the ethical hackers, the black hats exist. So the white hats are there to fight the black hats on your behalf by finding a fault before they find it. So the black hats guys, they have their motivation is stealing information and money, or espionage, depends on the context. Yeah, but they are just there to wreak havoc. So their intent,
bad guys.
Intent is bad, clear, cut bad. Now the grey hats guys are the ones who say, they're sort of like in the middle, but badly in the middle. I'll say badly in the middle because they're what they call themselves hacktivists. So they're either hacking for a cause they believe in. So, for example, if they believe that the prisons in America are not run fairly, there's torture, and then they're covering it up with something, the hacktivists will hack in to find proof. Now,
to support their
yes, let's use the example of the DCC in America, where the Clinton campaign suffered a major hit because a hacktivist was trying to show that Clinton was not the person that she elect into America. We can go on about Russia, all of the kind of conspiracy theories, but yes, it was a hacktivist kind of hack, which is a grey hat hacker that got access. And how did he get access? By social engineering. He sent them an email that looked like it was from their IT support team, and then from there the person clicked the link, logged in, thought he was logging into his email, not knowing he was giving his information to someone. So he actually, that's why I say it's easier to hack a person than to hack a computer. Because humans feel a lot of things. Humans feel anxiety, humans feel fear, humans feel lots of things. So there can easily be, if you're not aware, can easily be manipulated. Yeah, so that was how that particular hack happened, and we know how that went down in history with Hillary. Yeah, so that's
those
are the three
hats that we have. Okay, so one more thing, I'm thinking of something now. If there is an ethical hacker and there is a black hat, so to say, white hat and black hat. So how do you handle trust issues for an ethical hacker? Because for me, except for the intent and the authorization, they probably do the same thing. So how do you handle trust issues? How do I trust you enough that you are going to do the exact thing I asked you to do?
Okay, so first, that's for the ethical hacker or the penetration tester to actually, let's say, hustle. You have to build trust. Trust is something you gain. It's not something that comes to you just straight up. It will come in different ways. It will come maybe in the way that you're able to make the clients feel in the past. It will come in your history of your work. It will come in maybe what's out there about you and what you do, what your activities here. What have you done for other people? So it comes in a lot of ways. So trust is to be gained. It's not something that there's no formula around it. But generally, trust is a big thing that must be gained. But I want you to look at it from another side, another angle. If you do not hire an ethical hacker because of trust issues, the black hat hacker doesn't need to be hired by you.
In fact,
he doesn't even need to be trusted by you.
They just fly wherever they want to do. So which way are you
going to go?
So you better fly
highway out the east and way. So please, you get what I mean?
Okay,
it's like saying, I won't go by road. Well, let's not go that way.
All right, so thanks so much, Confidence, for talking to us on Techbridge. It's been a wonderful time with you.
It's so nice talking to you too.
Yeah.
I felt like I was just chilling.
Yeah, of course, you're just chilling. That's the show.
Yeah.
All right, so I've been speaking with Confidence Staveley, and she's one of the very best hands when it comes to ethical hacking in Nigeria, and she's also doing the female gender proud. Give it up to you.
Thank you. High five for that.
Okay, thank you. I get that. So we hope to get you on this show some other time to discuss more around what you do and how to benefit people around technology and the offerings as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks so very much. So I go for this quick break. It's still Techbridge on Lagos Television. Please stay with us. It's an amazing episode there with Confidence Staveley talking about ethical hacking and how easy it can be, how to build trust issues around that, and every other issue around what you need to know about that particular profession, that particular field. And obviously, you've got a lot. One of the things I need to take from this point, and I think I should share with you, is the fact that you don't need to consider whether you are low profile or high profile before you begin to pay attention to your information and every other thing you have. She mentioned that every information about you is gold on the dark web. And you must always be conscious of that at every point in time. Whenever you handle your information, or whenever you're talking about information, or whenever you're doing anything on the internet. And also she mentioned that try as much as possible not to patronize counterfeit softwares, cracked softwares. It's a very good way for the bad guys to get across to you. And before you know it, you never can tell how bad that can be. So that's our episode today. Many thanks for joining us. I'll hope to connect with you in the next episode. But before I go, remember that this show is also available live on Facebook. You can watch this program live on Facebook. That is at Lagos Television. And of course, you can watch the recorded episode on YouTube. That is Techbridge LTV. That is a handle there. And of course, on Facebook, you can connect with Techbridge with at Techbridge LTV. All our social media platforms are available for you to use. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like our Facebook page. I'm Seyi Ola today. Keep discovering more, keep innovating, keep exploring, and keep achieving more with technology. Bye for now.